Cleats Sports Analytics is a company based on minimizing the uncertainty in sports betting to help you maximize your profit. Newfoundland's first sports analytics team provides daily predictions for all Major League sports so you can win big. Whether you want to hit MLB picks out of the park or get a slam dunk on your NBA betting tickets, Plutus is a company of choice. Head to PlutusSportsAnalytics.com. That is PLUTUS sportsanalytics.com. Use code JSP10 for 10% off their deadly service. Welcome back, everybody, to the episode of the Jay Steelers Podcast. This is episode number 181, dedicated to a man who on March 15th, 1962, became the first person to score 4,000 points in a single NBA season, Mr. Wilt Chamberlain. And as always, thank you for listening and downloading another episode of the podcast. On today's episode, we talk a little bit about Cam Newton signing a new contract, another contract with the New England Patriots. The NCAA tournament brackets have been released, and I am so happy we have a tournament this year. And a lot of y'all did not like what came out of Leonard's mouth while playing Call of Duty. But first, there's a man by the name of Brees, first name Drew, who has recently had a lot of people fooled. Hey, I'm going to come back, watch this workout. And people saw Drew Brees working out in the street, working out hard, doing workouts and exercises people say he has never done before. People are saying, ooh, Drew, I like what I'm seeing, buddy. Come back for one more season. And Drew Brees, with the help of his kids, said, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to be going from New Orleans to NBC Sports. I remember, going back in my brain, in my memory, I remember when Drew Brees was playing his collegiate football at Purdue, in West Lafayette, Indiana. I was a youngster, and I remember watching Drew Brees play with Purdue, go to that Rose Bowl, that picture when he had that rose in his mouth at the end of the regular season. I'm thinking, wow, I love this. Now, mind you, I am just now learning about football. Well, learning how to properly understand what's going on the football field. I like the collisions. I like the speed. I like just what's going on in front of me when I'm watching it on the TV screen, saying, yes, I like this. And knowing that there was someone in Drew Brees that played in the state of Indiana, where I was living at that time, and I said, whoa, Drew, I like you. But little did I know that from a youngster at that time, and I watched Drew Brees play his senior year at Purdue, till now, I had no idea, or I did not think once, that Drew Brees would be in the NFL for this long. Drew Brees, a quarterback, he'll go down, an all-timer, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's without any questions asked. If Drew Brees was not playing at the same time as a Peyton Manning, as a Tom Brady, as a Aaron Rodgers, I did not put Ben Roethlisberger in that group because I do believe Drew Brees is better than Big Ben, but he was not playing at the same time with those guys. Drew Brees would probably be looked at as more of a legend than he's already looked at right now. Drew Brees is going to be a quarterback that's going to be one of those guys that you look 15, 20, 30 years down the road, 30 years in the future, look back on his career, say, man, my. Drew Brees is a guy I would love to pattern my game after. 67.7% completion percentage for his career, over 80,000 passing yards, over 550 touchdowns thrown in his career, 13-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 1 Super Bowl win, 2006 Walter Payton Man of the Year, 2004 AP Comeback Player of the Year, 2008 AP Offensive Player of the Year, 2011 AP Offensive Player of the Year as well. New Orleans Saints fans, they're looking ahead saying, what are we going to do next? Who's going to be the next man? I've already seen contract talks between the Saints and Taysom Hill. But let's just take some time right now to pump the brakes on looking ahead and just realizing and recognizing what we were able to witness with Drew Brees on the field. Think about what think about what the Saints were before Drew Brees went there 15 years ago. The Saints were a team you'll look at and say, ooh, get my pen out, check that off. Yeah, and we're going to beat them easily. It's the Saints. or the New Orleans Aints. We could beat them easily. Drew Brees came there at the right time, right after Hurricane Katrina. Not just revived a city, but revived a franchise. And man, they have never been the same since. Every single time you see Drew Brees as a quarterback with the Saints, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, seemed like the perfect connection with those two being there in New Orleans. Drew Brees is going to be a gentleman and a guy that will be looked at as a legend for years and years and years to come. And I surely hope this new addition to NBC Sports is one that's a good one. It's a long-lasting one. And I can't wait to see how well Drew Brees does in the booth there with NBC. I do think, off the top of my head, I think fans will like Drew Brees more than many of you like Tony Romo. I say many of you because Tony Romo is not one of my favorite broadcasters out there. Drew Brees has a chance to be just that. Let's go ahead and take a trip to New England because they did something I did not think they were going to do, and that is give Cam Newton another contract. After the way last year went for Cameron Newton in New England, my first thought was there's no way that Bill Belichick brings him back. They can easily get another guy, a better quarterback, a quarterback that can actually throw in the NFL draft or via free agency. But maybe, just maybe, Bill knows something that we don't. Bill Belichick always thinks in a different way. His abnormal way of running the franchise has led them to win consistently year after year after year. Does Bill think he's going to have another year like last year? I don't think so. But he does believe, and it surely shows, Cam Newton will be a part of the process, the winning process going into next season. I was not expecting at all for Cameron Newton to have another run in New England. No. You watch the football. I watch the football. I see Cameron Newton, the best time the ball moves, via when he runs the ball. When he runs the ball left, when he runs the ball right, when they have a design quarterback draw, he runs the ball right up the middle. I did not think, not 1 second, that Cameron Newton would have another run with the New England Patriots. Now, maybe in Bill Belichick's mind, he knows about the individuals that did not play for New England last year. You say individuals that did not play, that is correct. Think about it. Before the season, the COVID stuff was going around. Players could opt out via COVID. Wouldn't really be many financial ramifications or anything. Well, there would be, wouldn't get paid. But it was okay. It was understandable. It was justifiable in many people's minds that if you did not play last year due to the Rona, due to the effects of either you or possible effects for your family, it was A-okay. Well, I believe there were 7 or 8 players that played for the Patriots that did not play last year. First one that comes to my mind is Patrick Chung. I want to say the McCourty brothers didn't play last year either. Those are 3 guys in the back half of the defense that are very vital to the team's success, that are needed for the team to be successful. So with everything that went on with Cameron Newton being the quarterback of the team, you're having another side of the ball, the other side of the ball, that doesn't even have its main guys. Doesn't have the guys that are leaders, that are captains, that are big pieces to the team's success. Yes, we all fall in love with the offense. We all fall in love with the points, the scoring. Ooh, Derrick Henry, do you see that stiff arm? Or ooh, Marshawn Lynch just ran through the entire defense. Or ooh, did you see that pass? Did you see Randy Moss just moss 3 defenders at the same time? These are the things that we have grown accustomed to loving and falling in love with as football fans. At the same time, there were 2 sides, 2 primary sides, 3 parts of a team: offense, defense, special teams, but the 2 main ones, offense and defense. If you go into a season, and right now people are talking about this in college football, the NFL, who did you lose on offense? Who did you lose on defense? Mainly in college football, because so many guys leave year after year after year, either due to graduation, going to the NFL draft, or via the transfer portal. Those are 3 ways people leave your program. Some guys, unfortunately, they're not medically cleared to play the football anymore or play the sport that they love, so that's another way you may lose a starter. Well, New England, going into the season, if you're going to say you're going to have a new quarterback, you're going to have a new voice, and you're going to lose over half of your defense, you would think the Patriots would not be that good. And your quarterback is Cameron Newton, who didn't play very good the last time he was on the football field prior to practicing there for the Patriots. So that was a formula, just being completely honest with you, that was a formula to not be very successful during the season. However, you do expect, or you want to project, and you want to assume your quarterback will be able to throw the football. You expect your quarterback, I'll say it once again just in case somebody didn't catch that. You expect your quarterback to be able to throw the football. And what do we see from Cameron Newton this year? That he struggled mightily to throw the football. I don't like saying the negative or saying the bad. I want to always be positive. People say, Jay, you are always, or you try to be, an optimistic individual. That's correct. I try my best to be that very thing. But right now with Cam Newton, the way that he played football, it's very, very hard to be a optimistic person because he struggled to throw the ball. A gentleman that you guys have heard numerous times will probably be back sometime during the NFL season, my buddy Garrett Grandy. He messaged me. Now, he messaged me last week, and it was right after the Celtics played the Nets and Kyrie Irving went off. So he said, don't talk, don't even say anything. I'm already mad. This is Garrett Grandy messaging me. No, I thought he was talking about the Boston Celtics. No, sir, Bob. Garrett was talking about Cam Newton being the quarterback of New England, of the New England Patriots. A healthy, if New England was healthy and they had all of their pieces, didn't lose anybody on defense, anybody on offense, there's a good shot the team still would have been struggling to win games because Cameron Newton was not able to throw the ball like he used to. Never been the most accurate passer in the world. Has a rocket of an arm when he can throw the ball. He's not the most accurate guy at all. I laughed at Garrett. Not gonna lie to you. I laughed hard. Really, really hard. Because I don't feel his pain. I just thoroughly enjoy. Yes, transparent. I thoroughly enjoy any time that team that messed up my childhood by consistently beating the Indianapolis Colts early on in my childhood. I have all of those memories. Patriots Colts playoffs. Who wins? Probably the Patriots. Patriots Colts regular season. Who wins? Probably the Patriots. Now, there was that year, the AFC Championship game, that the Colts did get over the hump. I believe the Colts were down 21-3, and Peyton Manning had a comeback, and well, the rest is history. Marlon caught it, and the Colts move on to play the Super Bowl, beating the Bears to win Super Bowl 41. The Patriots right now going into the draft. The Patriots have the number 15 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. I'm looking right now at just one mock draft. This mock draft is from CBS Sports. Let's go to Pete Prisco. Who does he have in his mock draft? Pete Prisco in his mock draft. If this is going to come up right now, bad radio. We got it. So, first quarterback off of Pete Prisco's board, Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville Jaguars, as expected. Zach Wilson goes as number 2 quarterback off the board, number 2 overall, to the Carolina Panthers. The next quarterback off the board, I'm going to get down to the Patriots and see who he has picking for him. He has Justin Fields going number 8. He has, let's keep going, Trey Lance going number 12 to the San Francisco 49ers. And we get to the 15th pick overall. Everyone's going edge rusher for New England. He has Gregory Rousseau, 6'7", 265-pound edge rusher, edge defender for the from the Miami Hurricanes. Almost said Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins do not play college football. My first thought the entire time, why bring back Cam for the low for cheap and not draft a quarterback? But as I've looked around different mock drafts, a lot of people have the Patriots going edge defender, edge rusher, not outside linebacker. It would more be an outside linebacker, but it'll be an outside linebacker walked up on the edge being an edge defender, not an outside linebacker that is off the ball. I thought and assumed Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, they're going to go ahead and get a quarterback of the future and not trust Cam Newton's arm. Silly me. Silly me. They're providing more comedy for me in my life for the podcast. Just being completely honest. Because as much as they need an edge rusher, they need a quarterback of the future. Cam Newton, a full offseason, okay with the team, working out, rehabbing. I still don't think that's a formula for success. I don't at all. You got to go out and get somebody now. Dak got inked up. Will they potentially try and trade for Deshaun Watson? I don't think so. I think Houston's going to try to want too much for him. Will they try and get Sam Darnold? That's in division. That's very unlikely, but I do think you bring in Sam Darnold, that may be a little bit okay. Mitchell Trubisky may not be in Chicago anymore. Do they try and get Mitchell Trubisky and bring him into New England? I don't think that's going to happen. But I thought, guys, I'm just saying, I was expecting for Bill Belichick to say, no, Cam, I know it's cheap, I know it's low, but we're not going to bring you back in because Cam's going to expect to be the starter. There's one gentleman, I'll close out with this little thought. Let me see if I can find him very quickly. He played at the University of Alabama. I don't see. Oh, okay. So Pete Prisco, he has Mac Jones going number 24 overall to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh just signed, and I believe Big Ben is going to be playing in Pittsburgh once again. But just imagine, have a little fun with this very quickly. Just imagine Cameron Newton, the way that he is, his personality, the way he dresses, the workouts, how he wants to flaunt things on the social media for people to see, this social media age where he want to flaunt things for everybody. Everybody. We want everyone to see what we're doing because it's all about us. Me, myself, and I. Imagine Bill Belichick drafts Mac Jones at number 15 overall. Just imagine Bill Belichick says, hey, Cam, you want to know who your competition is? It's not Brian Hoyer. It's not the other guy there that I can't think of his name. It's just how irrelevant he is as far as when it comes to being the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots. But it's Cam versus Mac Jones in training camp, vying and trying to see who is going to be the starting quarterback for the team. That's going to be something to see. Mac Jones is a very accurate quarterback, and people that follow Alabama say the offense ran better and it was more free-flowing and it was more fluid with Mac Jones as a quarterback versus Tua Tagovailoa. Mac Jones is not the best quarterback in this draft, but it'll be very Bill Belichick-esque to get someone that's the opposite personality, that does things Cam cannot do anymore to be his competition this year in training camp. Your boy is here for it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your boy is here for it. And just say, Bill, you want to get Jay to be very excited about a Bill Belichick move? Hey, Bill, go ahead and draft Mac Jones and let us see what that competition is like between Cam and Mac in training camp, because I think that'll be must-see TV. After last year, where there was no NCAA tournament, this year, having a tournament, knowing Selection Sunday is a possibility. 6 o'clock Eastern when Selection Sunday started, right after the overtime ended of the Big Ten Championship game. Oh my goodness, I saw Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis there at the set in New York, and oh my, there was a big smile on my face because the possibility of having a tournament this year is slowly becoming more of a reality. This coming Thursday, the first four there in Indianapolis, Indy. Actually, no, I think those might be outside of Indy because I think that might be utilized in Bloomington, Simon Scott Assembly Hall, and then also in West Lafayette in Mackey Arena, the homes of Indiana University, who just fired their coach, Archie Miller. Had a feeling that was coming, and also the home in West Lafayette of the Purdue Boilermakers, where the Fighting Matt Painters are a team I don't think anybody wants to play. Do I think they have a date? There's a possibility that they will play Baylor in the Sweet 16. That is true. Is it a possibility that Purdue is one of those teams that could upset the Baylor Bears? That is true. Not saying yes, not saying no, but if you're thinking about filling out your bracket, if you already filled it out, I would think twice about that Purdue possibly playing Baylor in the Sweet 16, because Baylor's good, Purdue is good. Purdue has a big man, 6'10", 265-pound Travion Williams, who is a dog down low, passes one of the best passing big men in the post, and he's not the biggest guy on the team. They have a guy in Zach Edey, a freshman, 7'4", 285. That's a mammoth of a human being of his own. So much to talk about with this bracket, and I don't want to get too far into the bracket without mentioning, I suggest those of you listening right now, head to stop or keep listening on your phone. Download the ESPN Tournament Challenge app. If you haven't already downloaded, search Jay Stevens Podcast. There's no password. Enter your bracket, one bracket per person. Enter your bracket into the tournament pool, and the winner, whoever gets the most games correct in their bracket, there will be a prize for the winner. The prize will be announced on Thursday at the beginning of Thursday's episode. Speaking of Thursday, another announcement here. Cody Gwynn will be back on Thursday as him and I preview the NC2A tournament. We'll get more in depth as far as matchups, potential upsets, who our final four picks will be in teams, and who we think will be crowned NC2A champion of this 2020-2021 season. March Madness has a lot to it. It means different things to different people. To me, when I think about March Madness, I think of literally the third month of the year in March. Not to be crazy off the wall. It's literally just the first thing that pops into my head. But also, the madness, the upsets, the busted brackets, and those Cinderella stories that we see so many times in this tournament. At first glance, I think there'll be a lot of chalk, a lot of top seeds that are winning in this year's tournament that'll be going deep runs, Sweet 16, Elite 8. You're probably going to have two number one seeds. I haven't filled on my bracket. I've glanced over it. I have not gone ahead and went out and said, oh, yes, I'm going to go ahead and pick this team to be in the Final Four and pick that team to win the champion. I know in my head who I think might be there. But the madness is one thing that we're going to be looking forward to seeing. Who will possibly will there be rematches? Who will play each other once again? What teams, Cinderella stories, mid-majors? Who else will be there that will say, oh, we may not win or we may not have won our conference championship? I don't think Colgate won theirs, but I know they still got into the tournament. Will there be a team that goes to the Sweet 16? Will it be something that down the road, the selection committee says, hey, we know a mid-major didn't win their conference tournament, but man, they're so good. There's no way we can leave them out. And they find a way to put them into the tournament. Unfortunately, there is also the reality of the possibility of certain teams not playing in the NC2A tournament due to a positive test or pulling out. And I do believe the NCAA says, by rule, if you have 5 players that can play, you're going to play the game, or you're eligible to play the game. So let's say a team of 10 players. I know there's more players than 10 on a team. Let's just use simple math. There's a team of 10 players. You have 5 players that test positive, can't play in that game. The other 5 weren't hit with contact tracing. So you're going to play 5 players all 40 minutes. They're going to be gassed. They're going to be exhausted, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. And I personally think that's probably how the season should have gone anyway, instead of just canceling games or having these long breaks, 2 or 3 week breaks in the season. If a player tests positive, he doesn't play. Or forfeit if you just want to pull out and not play the game either. You would have had a lot more games be played. You would have had some unsung hero, somebody that's normally a bench player that was thrust into the starting lineup simply because 3 starters could not play due to positive cases. Nobody else was hit with contact tracing. Nobody else was hit with a positive case or a test. So you went on and played with those that were cleared to play that specific game. Curious to see how the COVID impacts or affects teams either playing or possibly pulling out of the NC2A tournament. A lot of people, they're looking forward to getting a lot of the money that's out there that is at stake in this tournament. Coaches, possible bonuses. The TV network, CBS, Turner, a lot of money is going to be flowing their way. NC2A, they want the money as well. When you lose as much money as the NCAA lost after last season, You're going to want to have a tournament to make as much money as you can. Not just the men, but the women are having a tournament as well. That tournament I know is in a bubble. I forget the exact location. I do believe the NIT is down in Frisco, Texas. I believe also Frisco does host the D1AA, old school term, or the FCS college football tournament down there, or championship there in Frisco, Texas. NCAA tournament. Who is your Final Four? Who is your champion of this year's tournament? Tweet at me at jsteven07. DMs are always open, or tweet directly at me. I will reply to you. Or you can send your email to jstevenspod@gmail.com. Send your email that way if it's a little bit longer than 280 characters, or you're not on the Twitter to send a long message via a direct message. Hey, send it to me. I love communicating. I love interacting. This is a great time of year, and I hope all of you are ready to have some fun watching basketball and have your brackets busted. Speaking of busted, not your bracket, but possibly the bank account of Myers Leonard. He was hit with a $500,000 fine and I believe a 1-week suspension after what he said during a game of Call of Duty on Twitch was leaked, and everybody heard how many F-bombs he dropped and the racial slur, anti-Semitic slur, I hope I said that word correctly, slur while playing the game. It was effing this, effing that, effing this, effing that. Then also you effing 2-second pause, K-I-K-E. Not saying the word, I'll spell it out. It is offensive. When I first heard the video, I had to replay it 2 or 3 times because I did not know what word came out of his mouth. I also did not know when I heard the word, what that word meant, what the origin was. Goes back, I believe, to the 1800s. And I did not know that it was offensive when he first said it. I had no idea. I saw people on Twitter saying, how do you not know what that means? Are you crazy? Why are you lying, Myers Leonard? How do you not know what comes out of your mouth? Do you just pick up words? Do you pick them up from different genres, from different cultures, and start letting them come out of your mouth? Well, honestly, that's how things are a lot in America. And there's a phrase out there, I'm not going to, I'll go ahead and say it. No cap. I do not suggest that kids look this up, but there is a phrase out there. When I heard the actual meaning of that word, it was a little disturbing to me. The origin of the word of sagging, the act of men, sometimes women, having their pants hang down past their butt. Where that origin comes from, a little disturbing, a little unnerving. So people say, I used to sag my pants. I'm looking back, I was not proud of it, but I did not know the origin of that act at all until somebody told me, oh, Jay, that's what the origin was. I look back now, it wasn't very wise of me to do. If I had a professional job, that's not very professional of me to do. There are people that I work with, a couple managers at my job that like to sag their pants when they're not at the workplace. To me, not very wise, not professional, very immature, but that's just me. That's just how I personally view that act. And when it goes back to what Myers Leonard said, many people out there that were going off on the Twitter, I didn't go to the Instagram. Twitter's a whole lot easier to scroll the comments and see what people are saying. It seemed like there was a lot of people in their feelings. There were a lot of people that said, ooh, you should be out the league. Ooh, you should lose your contract. The sponsor, whoever sponsors Myers Leonard to play the video game on the Twitch, they pulled their sponsorship immediately. No questions asked. They pulled that. That's their right. That's what they do. I did not think a fine should have been handed down. I did not think a suspension should have been handed down. Because if that's the case, if that's what we're doing, if you're saying anything racially insensitive or something that is offensive to people, then why do we play the songs that are in arenas, or why do players play the music in the locker room that is legitimately offensive to certain sections of cultures or in cultures around the world? You could be offensive to your mom, offensive to your dad, offensive to women or someone of the opposite sex, or offensive to people that are gay, or offensive to so many people out there. I'm not telling you what to believe, but I'm just simply saying that suspension, That fine didn't make sense to me. We're Americans. Yes, I do know that was wrong of him to say. But I don't think we're going on the right path as far as, oh, you say something wrong, you're getting suspended, or you say something wrong, you're getting fined, or you may lose a sponsorship, or you may lose your job overall. I personally do not believe that's the right route to go. I know cancel culture is a thing. I know cancel culture has taken over. What's the end game? Are we going to cancel out everything until everything is canceled, including ourselves? Is that the route you want to go? I don't think so. Leonard, I will say he was wrong for what he said. I'm not going to try to dissect his apology or his statement that he made. But I do personally think we're going a little too far as ooh, you say something wrong, you need to be suspended. Or, ooh, you say something wrong, you need to be fined. Or, oop, you're going to lose a sponsorship. In the NBA playoffs, I believe it was Montrezl Harrell said something to Luka Doncic. Something that's been said on the basketball court for years and years and years, and was probably said on a basketball court probably somewhere today. People said, Montrezl Harrell, you're wrong. You should not play anymore. You need to apologize. There were also white individuals that played basketball at a high level on the playground and competitive nature there, or in college basketball, NBA basketball, or professionally overseas. They say that's more of a badge of honor. I've been called that numerous times. Not myself personally. I ain't white. Sorry. I'm not talking about me, but I ain't white. But there are people out there that have said, I've been called that numerous times. I look at it as a badge of honor. You're saying I'm good at basketball. I am killing you, so you're going to call me blank, blank, blank. That's them. That's how they view it. People are saying, Montrezl Harrell, you should be canceled. You should be suspended for what you said. If we're going to continue with this cancel culture trend, and we're going to keep canceling things that don't go, we don't like, and making things just so nobody's offended, eventually, there's a possibility we will cancel. No, not we. I'm not on that bandwagon. People out there that are fans of cancel culture, eventually, they'll start canceling things they like out of their own lives because what they like offends somebody else. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying another episode of the Jay Stevens Podcast. As always, you could follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. Give the podcast a follow on Twitter as well at jstevenspod. And also send all the emails to jstevenspod@gmail.com. Remember to always subscribe, rate, and review. It's a great way for people that are searching for a new podcast to listen to come across this one. Then remember to always get the word out about the podcast via word of mouth. The things that we enjoy in life, we are almost willing and somewhat wired to tell other people about. So no matter if this was your first episode or if you have been listening since episode number 1, be sure to let people know about the podcast. This is episode 181 of the Jay Stevens Podcast. I will see you next time.